Hi there, I'm Pastor Mike, and welcome to my weekday podcast. And I want to talk this week about safety. You know that these days there is a great deal of emphasis on health and safety. Now, when I was at school, I was a conker champion, and I used to get my horse chestnuts, which we call conkers, and I'd put them in a jam jar full of vinegar, which hardened the chestnut, and then I would drill a hole through it, thread a piece of string through the hole and take it to school. Now in the playtime, we would have conker matches and taking turns each to whack each other's conkers until one of them smashed. Now, I saw a few years ago that a health and safety rule was brought in that children playing conkers in their playground now had to wear goggles. Now I fully appreciate that we need to protect our children, and it's important to do so. But maybe sometimes perhaps we just take things a little too far. Our safety, however, in this time of pandemic is far more serious. And sadly, so many people across this world have lost their lives to COVID-19. And I know that so many people are fearful of catching this virus and potentially losing their lives. We looked at last week how prayer could be effective and how asking God to protect us is a good thing. And I want to encourage you this week to pray for God's protection. Now, there are many references in the Bible to God being our helper in time of great need. We know that Psalm 91 provides us with promises for our protection, and it starts like this. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I will trust. Other Bible verses use the same idea of God being a fortress. Psalm 18 says this, the Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my strength in whom I will trust. Psalm 62, truly my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from Him. Truly He is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress, and I shall never be shaken. Psalm 144. He is my loving God and my fortress, my stronghold and my deliverer. Now in Psalm 18, when David had been delivered from the pursuit of Saul, he uses a word for fortress that means Masada. Now Masada, you may know, is a 2,000-foot high mountain that covers nearly 23 acres, and it's located near the Dead Sea. Now this is where Herod the Great built a fortress, and where it was said that 10,000 men could stay for 10 years because of the food stored and also the underwater systems for collecting water. Now even in the time of David, Masada was a huge natural fortress where you could shelter from your enemies. It was used as a metaphor for the safety that we can find in God, God being our fortress. Now, knowing that God is our fortress means three things. Firstly, if we put our trust in God, we are safe from the attacks of the enemy of our souls, the devil. The devil may prowl around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour, but in the fortress of our God, he can't touch us. He's like a lion, he's not a lion. There is only one lion, Jesus, who is the Lion of Judah, who breaks every chain and gives us the victory again and again. Secondly, if we put our trust in God, we need not fear. Psalm 3 says, I lie down and sleep. I wake again because the Lord sustains me. I will not fear though thousands may assail me. The greatest army in the world at the time, the Romans, took 2 years before they could conquer Masada. In God, no one can conquer this stronghold, so we can sleep peacefully at night knowing that we are safe in God, our fortress. Thirdly, if we put our trust in God, nothing can happen to us unless God allows it. Let's be honest. We have seen fellow believers and followers of Jesus go through suffering, and some have died from illnesses. We may never understand why, but we know that God is sovereign, and even when we lose close friends, and we know that they are safe still in the fortress of our God, they simply pass from this life into eternity with Christ. So the thought, or question for today is this: is God your fortress? God bless you, and thank you for watching. Just put my teeth in.